Dorothy.
Hi, Teresa. How are you?
I'm great, and I'm so excited to be here today.
Good, me too. We're here to talk about some parent engagement strategies and some things that we want to do with parents to keep them involved, because we know that having parents in the schools, the students are just going to have a better experience. They're going to have more success in their learning. They're going to have a great experience. So we want to talk about a few ways that we've engaged parents in the learning process, and maybe some ways that you could take from us and pull into your school. So I'm going to have Teresa start with one of her great things that she did when working with teachers and parents.
One of my roles has been parent educator. So I needed to come up with a way of when are we going to provide learning for parents, and what is this going to really look like? And so we had to decide together with staff, and at the time I had a partner, and we said, what are we going to do? And we thought, let's have breakfast with parents. Let's provide food, because we know food's going to bring parents in. And so we decided we were going to do food. We thought, let's do a breakfast, and we thought, what are we going to call it? So we had to come up with a name, because we thought, you know what, that's what's going to draw people into. That's when they're going to look at this and they're going to go, wow, that's something new. So we called it a parent cafe. We provided a coffee bar, and we provided free breakfast. We actually partnered with a local McDonald's, and the manager was so excited about the opportunity to provide food at a very discounted rate that he highlighted the most nutritious meals for breakfast and gave us a miniature menu, and we could order it ahead of time at $1 a person. Now, I don't know what your McDonald's will do, but that's just one example.
That's great. So when the parents were there, what were some of the things you've done? Because I know many of our listeners and viewers have done, muffins with mom, donuts with dad, things like that. And it's great to have them come in and see the schools, and we love that. Should we build on that a little bit and give teachers some more things, or parents some more things to take back from this experience?
And that's the catch right here, is that if you're going to be using your Title I funding for parent education, you have to provide parent education. So we decided, what was it that we really wanted parents to know and understand and be able to do more effectively at home with their students. And we really thought about our school improvement goals, and we were really focusing around literacy. So the first year, we just decided to map out literacy strategies that we were going to share with parents. So every time the parents came in, we always have a sign-in sheet. You need to develop a sign-in sheet, and the best way to do that is to create them all at one time for the whole year. Then they're done. But when the parents come in, they sign in, they get their food, and they sit down, and they just have a social time. And we tell the parents that this is an opportunity for them to put a pause on their week. This is a time just to spend with their child in front of them. And the students would get a free book. And then we would share a strategy on how to read that book. So for example, vocabulary was a focus for our district. And we talked about vocabulary strategies. And we gave the parents 1 to 3 strategies to actually practice with their student right there while they were reading. And then we always gave them a sheet or a bookmark with other strategies or ideas so that they could take that home.
Awesome. Because we still really like the muffins with moms, donuts with dads, because some parents are working and they only have time to squeeze that in. It depends how you schedule things, but some parents are more comfortable with that. But once they get comfortable with this piece of the puzzle here, which is, oh, let's meet and greet, let's have fun, let's see this, then we can go into a deeper learning experience and sharing more. And I know Teresa did a lot with literacy. I've worked with teachers that have done math nights and brought the parents in and the students in for that too, and they learn together. So what we want to do is kind of go beyond the meet and greet here and have a deeper level of learning.
And we did that too. So the first year was literacy, and the next year was the math instruction and how that shifted in math opportunities for learning at home. And then we also shared science for the science and engineering, and then we talked about how to critically listen, and we talked about growth mindset one year. So you really decide what is your focus, and keep the focus, and make sure that you have an opportunity for parents to engage in that practice when they come. And then you're coming up with a name. We had Parent Cafe, and we invited all the parents. In 2 of our buildings, we had a great success. We were having over 100 parents, and with bringing their children, so we'd have upward to 200 people. 2 other buildings in the same district, we were struggling. We would have maybe 6 parents come. And so we thought, what do we need to do? Dorothy mentioned muffins with mom, donuts with dad. Well, they would get 100 and some parents to that. We thought, let's change the name for them. And so in one of the buildings, we had muffins with mom, and we did muffins with mom every other month. And the opposite months, we did donuts with dad. Through the roof. We would have 160 parents show up. And you know what? Sometimes the moms would come on the Donuts with Dad's Day. that was okay. The whole idea was to get them in the door. But with that, you have to understand your population. We had in one building where a lot of the moms stayed home. So we knew that we could take our time with moms and also offer up some conversation time after the kids went back to their classrooms. But with dads, we knew that we had to cut it short. So instead of going until 8:30, we had to cut it short by 8:15 because the dads had to get back to work. Now, some moms had to leave too, but you just have to know your population. So when you're thinking about your time frame, thinking about your scheduling of these events and the names, think about what is it that's going to draw your parents in.
Right, and schedule that appropriately because many schools have single moms that have to get back to work and so forth. So know, as Teresa said, know your population, and you might do an evening one, you might do a lunchtime one, you might do a morning one. It just depends. You may do a Saturday event. And a lot of our schools too have changed names to VIP because grandparents come or guardians come. So whatever works for you is what we want you to do. Also, we want you to reach out to your local service agency, your education service agency, because sometimes when they have grants, some things are written in there where, you can provide educational resources with the grant funds and sometimes even some of the food. So if there's a grant and you're part of a grant and you're not exactly sure what that is, just reach out to your local service agency and say, hey, or the Department of Education that gave you the grant, say, hey, is this an allowable expense with our grant? And find out if it is. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But double check on all that information. So our goal is to get the parents in and then to provide some resources. And we also have some resources on our site, and Teresa's going to talk quickly about those on our iFireUp site.
So one of the things that I struggled with when I was first starting this with my partner, we were going, what do we give to parents? And we searched, and there really wasn't anything out there. And so we decided that we wanted to create some forms, some take-home forms for parents so that they had the strategies in front of them. And we found that the bookmarks were helpful because it was nice and small, but we kept it bulleted. So what I have provided for you are some examples of what we've provided for them. Reading like a detective and questioning, reading with the question in mind. And how do you question your student? Instead of just saying, who's the main character, the main 5 elements of a story, we want them to go deeper and really think about, well, how do you know that's the main character? So there's questions like that. And we just wanted to provide some PDFs for you to be able to take and use just to jumpstart your learning program as well.
Right, so if you go to ifireup.com and then you can go under shop or you can go under products and you can find those resources. We thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great day.
Thank you.